Hello good friends of YouTube, this is Simon at GAMEZOMATIK and welcome back to the channel. And I thought I'd come on and do a bit of a vlog or a pickup video or whatever you want to call it. It's been absolutely, I always say that at the beginning of one of these videos, I always go, it's been absolutely ages since I've done one of these videos. I can't remember when the last pickup video was, or the last vlog or talking video was. Maybe a month ago, a month and a half ago. It might have even been 2 months ago, I can't remember. I think it was just after Christmas around then. I thought I'd come on. I've got a big pile of stuff here, various just bits and pieces that I've picked up over the last probably 2 months, I'd say. Some just little bits and pieces really, nothing dead exciting, but I thought it might be interesting to come on and talk about them a little bit, and then talk about some of the games that I've been playing and what I've kind of been up to. I've done some gameplay videos on the channel, but not really had the chance to come on and do a full kind of chatty talky waffling video because I've not had the opportunity. Again, something I've mentioned on the channel before, I don't really get that much time to come in here where the house is totally empty and I get total peace and quiet and left to it. So when I do get the chance, it's nice to come on, and I've got the house to myself today. My wife's at work, my little boy's at school, my eldest has gone to college, he's out till 5 o'clock, so I've got the whole day pretty much till about 3 o'clock when I've got to go and pick my little boy up from school to pretty much do what I want today. So I thought I'd come on and do a little pickup video. It's been quite a while since I've done one, and then, you know, talk about the collection a little bit, kind of the aims of the collection and how I want to narrow the focus of the collection down a little bit. Talk about that a little bit, and yeah, what I've been playing. So it's going to be a bit of a mixture of everything. I think this is going to be quite a long video. I've got quite a few piles of games here that I'm going to sort of go through. I mean, nothing, like I say, dead exciting, but there's quite a bit here. So I don't know, this may be like a big 40-50 minute video, I don't know yet. So I'm going to get straight in and talk about some of the games that I've been playing. Actually no, I'm going to go into pickups first because some of them I've been playing, so that would make more sense. I'll just go with the current gen stuff though. We'll start off with some of the current gen stuff that I've picked up recently. So the first game I picked up, probably one of my favourite games of all time, is Shadow of the Colossus. Played this, I've got the original up there somewhere on the PS2. I also had the PS3 HD remaster. I didn't have a physical copy of that. I think I downloaded it off the PlayStation Store. I did want a physical copy at the time, but then it came up on a sale at about, I think for about like a $5 with ICO or Eco or whatever you want to call it. I call it ICO. For about a $5 a couple of years ago, so I just bought it on that and play through it on that. But it is one of my favourite games ever. It's a beautiful, beautiful game. If you're into game, if you think games like me is like an art form, a form of art, Shadow of the Colossus is the perfect kind of example of that. Really, it is gaming in its purest form as art, if you like. I've actually nearly finished this. I'm on the last Colossus now, which is a total bastard to beat. I'm not going to go too much into it because anyone who hasn't played this game, but fantastic remaster. If you're going to do a remaster, this is how you should do it. This has been basically rebuilt from the ground up. Beautiful 4K visuals. It looks absolutely amazing on my 4K TV. Obviously running through the Pro, looks really nice, really sharp, crisp visuals. There is 2 modes in it. There's a cinematic mode which plays it in full 4K, and that's the mode I've been playing it in. And then there's another mode which swaps it down to 1080p and runs it at 60 frames per second. But it's running pretty stable in full 4K, to be honest. I've not hardly noticed any frame rate dips in it, and it's not a majorly kind of it's not like Call of Duty or a racing game. It's not a majorly intensively fast game anyway, that kind of demands that steady frame rate at 60 frames per second. But it's a game, I think if anyone who considers themselves a gamer should really have this game in their collection. And it's cheap. I mean, it was only I think it was £20 or £25 brand new. And this is kind of the definitive version of this game now. So yeah, really been enjoying that. I've been playing that. Like I said, I've just got to last Colossus and I'm stuck on it. I keep kind of climbing up, and you've got to kind of climb up and jump onto his hand, and then he's waving his hands around, and I keep falling off the bloody thing. But yeah, Shadow of Colossus, I've been playing that. I have been playing, I'll just show you it down here, quite a lot of Yakuza 0. This isn't a game pickup, I got this ages ago. I'm still kind of battling my way through this. I must have put about 60 hours now into this game, but I keep going off and doing all the silly side things. I love kind of the little disco dancing games and things like that in it, and then there's a bit where you've got to kind of run your own business. There's just so much stuff to do in this game, so I've been playing that. But what I thought I'd pick up was this one, which is Yakuza Kiwami, which is a remake of the original Yakuza game, which I have played, and I've got it on the PlayStation 2. It's really nice kind of steel case as well. I don't know if you can see that. The lighting is not that great today, but yeah, really nice steel case, kind of a tattoo on the back, and it sort of slips into there. But I haven't started this yet. I kind of refuse to start this one until I finished Yakuza 0. Although I do know the story in this one, because like I said, I have played it before, the original. But I'm really looking forward to sort of getting into this one. But I want to finish Yakuza 0 first. So that's another kind of PS4 game that I've picked up. A game I picked up a couple of months ago. I did a tweet about this game actually, because it's a game that got panned last year. It came out last year and it got absolutely panned. And then it went in. It was in Argos on sale for, I think it was I'm pretty sure it was about £5 or £6, was it, or something like that. It'd been reduced to £5 or £6, and then I had a voucher for Argos for like a £5, so I used that and ended up paying like £2.50 or something for this game, and that is Agents of Mayhem. This game got absolutely critically hammered. I mean, they said it was generic and boring and all the other kind of usual crap that they come out with. This is fantastic. This is a really great offline, I'm going to stress that it's an offline single player game. It's got a little bit of online connectivity, kind of leaderboards or something like that, but it is an offline experience, and this is a cross between Crackdown. If you like Crackdown, you'll like this game. Between sort of Crackdown and, I'd say, I think the way I described it was a cross between Crackdown and Overwatch. It's kind of a massive open world city, and Saints Row. It's made by the same people who made Saints Row and who made Red Faction Violation. And yeah, it's kind of it's a bit like Saints Row and Crackdown, but you get all these different characters, as you can see at the top there, and they've all got their own different abilities, moveset, and you can kind of swap between any three of them on the fly at any one time. And then you can build them up and rank them up and level them up, and there's all different abilities they get. And then there's this great kind of open world. Then you go into bases and take over bases. And it got absolutely panned, this game. Not so much that it was buggy or anything like that. I think people just sort of said it was really kind of average and generic. But I've had tons of fun playing this game. I must have put about 50 hours into this already. I keep going back to it. I want to unlock different characters and level them up, see what the later powers are, and it's just really good. And this game now is like £8. You can pick up for £8, well, $10 or whatever, and it's definitely worth picking up. And I thought if you read it and look at it, it does look like it's kind of an online Overwatchy type of game, but it's not. It's totally offline. It's a total single player experience, and yeah, if you like, the nearest game I can compare it to is Crackdown. If you like Crackdown, but instead of controlling one character, you control several different characters, that's probably the easiest way I can describe it. It's definitely worth picking up, especially for the price it's going at. Like I say, you can pick this up for about £8, brand new. So yeah, Agents of Mayhem, lot of fun. And the last kind of current gen game that I've been playing is one that I really did kind of and ah about. I did a video about this game quite a while ago when it first came out, and I was less than complimentary about it due to its online practices. However, it has been patched, and I wanted to give it a go, and I managed to pick it up for about £15, and that is Gran Turismo. Now, anyone who starts having a go at me straight away because I did slag this video game, I did slag this off when it came out. The issue I had with it when it first came out is there wasn't any campaign in it. There was just training, there was just kind of the licenses, there was a lot of them, all different kind of test races and things, but they were just that, they were just tests and licenses, and then the majority of the game was online races only. Now they have patched this game now, and it's got they brought back what should have been, I'm going to stress this, what should have been in it in the first place, which is a full offline career mode. It's got the Sunday Cup in it and all the other races. You can earn credits, level up using that rather than the online. I've read that eventually they're gonna I think it's got about 170, 180 cars in it at the moment, maybe a bit more, but they have brought a couple of patches out already, and they're constantly adding new cars to it. I've sort of seen online and read online that eventually there's going to have a full roster of over 500 cars, going to keep adding and adding to it, and it's all going to be free content. So you can't really knock them for, I know it should have been there on release, but at least they're doing something, and they've listened and they've put the stuff in now. And for £15, I thought, yeah, take a punt. I still wouldn't have paid 40, 50, 60 pound for this game. It's only because I managed to pick it up for £15, and of course it's got the VR content as well, which owning a VR, you know, of course I'm going to want to have a look at that. Now I do think I've been informed that apparently you've still got to save the game online. Now I don't know if it backs it up at all to your PlayStation. I've not tried it. I've not tried disconnecting my PlayStation and trying to save the game and seeing what happens, or whether the game works offline, and that is a big down kind of mark in my book. I'm thinking it's absolutely ridiculous that you can only, with any game, that you can only save it online. But I don't quote me on that. I'm not 100% sure if that's the case, whether it backs it up to your PlayStation or not. But that, I didn't want to miss out on the whole experience or the whole game and what they put into it and what they'd added to it, just for that one thing. And which is why I was happy to only pay £15 for it, which equates in dollars to about $20. Because if it does end up just being a coaster in a couple of years, or a, you know, at least I haven't paid that much for it, and I've still got the VR. I mean, I'd happily pay £15 just for the VR content, which is on the disc, because, you know, there's about, I think, 30 odd tracks there that you can play in VR. Me and my little boy were playing them the other night. We were having and his cousin was round, and we were playing on this in VR, and they were having a great time, just kind of racing around the tracks in all these cars. I mean, to a kid, you know, you put the VR on a kid in a car and he thinks he's driving a car, they just think it's amazing. And I've got to admit, now they've fixed it, or at least they've worked on it, it is a bloody good driving game. I'm having a lot of fun with it. You know, there's a lot of there's a decent like livery editor in it. There's actually quite a lot of content in it. There is a lot in this game. It's just a shame that they kind of added half of it later on. But I'm having I'm having immense a lot of fun. I'm having a lot of fun with it. I do love driving games, and I didn't want to miss out on all that content just for the sake of it having one flaw, if you like. I thought it was at a low price. I thought, why not? So yeah, Gran Turismo, it looks fantastic as well. If you've got a 4K TV, it looks absolutely amazing. It's a beautiful looking game. Some really nice cars in there. I would have liked more cars in it. That's the only other thing, but they are adding them apparently. So they add new cars all the time. That's the only downside I would say about it. For me personally, I don't think there's enough cars in it. But yeah, Gran Turismo. So I'm enjoying that. Yeah, I'm just going through some of the games I'm playing as well at the moment. Another game that I'm playing at the moment, again, this isn't a pickup. This is just a game I always go back to all the bloody time. Rock Band 4. I'm a massive fan. You can see the guitars here of the Rock Band games. I've actually got the drum kit as well. I bought the Rock Band's Rivals. This is Rock Band Rivals, so this has got the add-on as well. I bought the band pack, so we've got the microphone, the drum kit. The drum kit's in my wardrobe or something. I only get to set it up every now and again and have a go on it because I haven't really got the room to do it. And again, the other thing is, those rubber drum kits, they still make quite a lot of noise. So if you unless you're playing them, I tend to can only really play it when no one's here because they are really noisy. So. But yeah, I've been playing this. They've just added what should have been in at the beginning again, an online mode where you can play not against other people but with other people, which is the option to just sort of quick join other people to play online. It's one of the few games that I do like playing online. Probably because you don't have to talk to anyone. You just sort of jump into a song and play along, and you can just leave, drop in, drop out, and it's a lot of fun. And I did kind of miss that because that wasn't in it for a long time, but they've just patched it. It's ridiculous that it's taken them this long to actually add this to the game. It should have been in on launch, but it's there now. And excuse me, I'm really enjoying playing a bit of Rock Band. I'll have to set the old drum kit up and I'll do some online on the drums. So everyone's really good at it though. I kind of I can just about manage medium to hard. I can do some song, and then I go on and everyone's playing expert, and I just don't know how they can do it. Another game I've been playing only because I kind of watched the film recently. And I did pick this up. I had it originally years ago on the PC. I had the big box version, but I thought I'd go back and play it again. And I did pick this up about a year ago in a charity shop for like 99p. And that is the point and click adventure Blade Runner. I watched the films recently, the new one. I thought I'd rewatch the original again, and it kind of got me in that mood for that kind of noir, kind of future noir kind of setting. So I thought I'd go back and play the original point and click, which is an excellent point and click adventure game. If you've never played it, I highly recommend you get it. You can get it on, I'm sure GOG sell it, and it works on pretty much any old computer now anyway. But if you like the films, then definitely should play this game. It's a classic, one of the best point and click adventures probably ever made. So I've been playing quite a bit of that as well, sort of jumping in and out of that. So I'm going to get some pickups now. Yeah, I've got a couple of PS3 games here. I was watching Chad Did Gaming Dad, and he did a video a couple of months ago, about a month ago, on Move games on the PS3, PlayStation Move. Is, these things, these Move controllers. Obviously, they've all come back into sort of trend now because you use them with the VR. But I've always had one of these and always quite liked them. And he did a great video about some games that you use on the PS3 games that use the Move controllers. So, and one of the games he mentioned was a game that I used to have, and I thought, oh yeah, I'll have to pick that up again. And it's really cheap. And then I saw it, so I picked it up, and that was Time Crisis. I love the Time Crisis games. I've got all of them. Blazing Storm. This is great because it's got 3 games on it. It's got Time Crisis, Blazing Storm, I can just see the lights. The light's not great in here today. It's got Time Crisis Blazing Storm, Time Crisis 4, and another game, like a pirate game, called, what's it called? Dead Storm Pirates, which is like an arcade cab that's been put onto the. So it's 3 games, and I think this cost me like £2.50. You know, which is about $3. It was nothing. So it's a great kind of PlayStation Move game. So if you've got the Move controller and the camera, this is definitely worth picking up. It also highlighted another game that I used to have that I'll have to pick up again, which was what's the zombie one called? Oh my god, I can't remember what it's called now. The one in the there was, I can't remember the name of it. It's gonna do me head in now, that. But the zombie one, the famous one. What's it called? Something Dead. House of the Dead. House of the Dead. That's it. House of the Dead. He mentioned House of the Dead Overkill as well, which is another great game you can get for the PlayStation Move, which you'll have to pick up. So yeah, pick that up. Picked this up because it was 99p and I didn't have a physical copy of it. I did play this years ago. I must have traded it in, but I really fancy playing through it again. And that is it. Enslaved, Odyssey to the West, another great kind of. This is a Ninja Theory game, one of the earlier ones. It's a really, really, really good game. It's really tough in places. Kind of great art style and a great sort of setting. So again, that was like £1 or something. So I picked that one up. This I got because I used to have them on my PSP, and then I sold my PSP collection off about a year ago, or a while ago. Maybe not a year ago, but quite a, I sold my PSP collection off a while ago. And there was a couple of PSP exclusives that only came out on the PSP, and these were 2 of them that I really wanted back in the collection. This is the God of War Volume 2 collection, which has got Ghost of Sparta and Chains of Olympus on, which were the 2 PSP games, fully remastered, 1080p, 60 frames per second, and you can play them in 3D. And I do have a 3D television. You can't see this because it's behind the camera, but I've actually got 2 televisions. I've got my 4K here, which is the one I do like my PS4 gaming on and stuff like that, but I've got another television next to it on the wall, which is my old TV, which is a 3D one, and you can play. That's what my PS3 and my Xbox 3, all my last gen systems are plugged into that, and that's what I play these games on. And that's got yeah, as you can see, you can play this in 3D, and it looks fantastic. Really runs really smooth. It's great. I have got the first collection as well, God of War 1 and 2, but they're on the PS Vita, believe it or not. I've got them on the PS Vita. I'm kind of in 2 minds whether to trade my PS Vita copy in and get them on PS3 so I can play them on the big screen. I haven't decided yet, but yeah, God of War. Couple of Wii games, not many. I don't really buy that much for the Wii. It's only if it's really cheap. I'm a bit tight when it comes to the Wii. I won't really spend more than £2 on a Wii game. I don't know why. I just won't. But because it's not system. I'm not a massive Nintendo collector. There are certain games I love. I love Super Mario Galaxy. They're probably my favourite Mario games. Although I have been playing the new one, Mario Odyssey, with my little boy. We've been playing that together because he's got a Switch. He got a Switch for Christmas, which I'm surprised because he absolutely loves it. I thought we were a bit worried with the Nintendo Switch that we'd get him one. He was asking for it, and we'd get him one, and it'd be something he'd play for like 2 months, and then we'd never touch it. He'd be back on his Xbox, but he's not. He's on it all the time. He really does swap between them. He's been playing Mario Odyssey. He actually finished it himself as well, which surprised me. He loved it, and it's one of the first games I've ever seen him go back to and keep on playing. He's finished it, but he keeps going back. He's going back now to get all those extra moons and things, and he's really enjoying it. And it's kind of warms the heart to see him enjoying some sort of classic Mario game. Yeah, he plays that. He plays Splatoon. What other games has he got? for it. He's got Mario Kart. He's got Mario Kart 8 on it, which he loves as well. We had that on the Wii U when I had my Wii U, and he loved it on that. So we got him that with it, and he's got a couple of games. So yeah, he's really enjoying the Switch. But anyway, yeah, I digress. I don't really collect that much for the Nintendo systems. I've actually got a GameCube there, which I've only got about 10 games for, and I basically only bought it for the 2 Star Wars games, Rebel Assault. Is it Rebel Assault 2? Oh, yeah, Rebel Strike, is it? I'm trying to say, yeah, Rebel Strike. Yeah, Rogue Leader and Rebel Strike. I only bought them for them games, really. And other than that, I wouldn't really be that bothered if I had it or not. I have been considering possibly selling the GameCube, simply because I've got about 8 games for it, and I'm not a big collector of Mario games or anything like that. I do like some Mario titles. I tend to like Mario Galaxy, Mario 3D World. I like things like that, but I'm not into Super Mario Brothers that much. I'm not really into a lot of the other Mario stuff. I kind of pick and choose the odd one. I do like some of them and I don't like some of them. And the same goes for the Wii. I just pick up the odd game. Anyway, getting back to the pickup. So one game I picked up was this, Cruising. There's going to be a lot of car racing games, by the way, in this pickup video, in this particular video, because I've been buying a lot of car stuff. So there's Cruising, or is it Cruising or Cruising, which is kind of an arcade racer. It's not amazing, but it was only a couple of quid. I just like that. I actually got it because it's a Midway game, and I like the cover of it, and it was really cheap. So it's kind of an arcade racer where you've got to race through checkpoints. Good fun, and you can use the old Wii, what you call it, move controls or whatever they're called, motion control on it. And this I got from a charity shop. This was like £1, and I wasn't going to get it. It was really messed up when I got it. It was covered in crap. The disc is not in the greatest condition. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, you probably can't. The disc is scratched to hell. There we go. The disc is scratched to hell. But it was £1. I thought I'll take a punt on it because I know it's pretty not hard to get hold of, but to get this collection is not that easy to get hold of, and that is the Metal Slug Anthology, which is a bargain. It's got something like 8 games on it or something. It's got all the Metal Slug games on it, and I didn't actually own these, this collection. So yeah, I thought I'd pick it up. And what I generally do with my Wii games is, because my Wii is here, it's soft modded. So it's got this hard drive at the top is plugged into this. It's plugged into the Wii, and I can kind of burn the games from the disc onto the hard drive. Because I've soft modded my Wii. So I thought, if it reads the disc, as long as it reads the disc once, I only have to burn it once, and then I can just play it off the hard drive. So I did that, and it works absolutely fine. It actually works with the disc fine. It's just it's a bit tatty. The box was tatty. The manual isn't great either. It's got a big sticker on it, but for £1 it's worth it just to have all them games. So yeah, the Metal Slug Anthology. So I'm happy to get hold of that, because it's not a game that I'd want to go out and pay a lot for, but it's one I'd still like to have in the collection. And I used to like the old Metal Slug games. So right, we'll go on to Xbox 360. Been picking up a lot of Xbox 360 stuff lately, simply because it's been cheap, I think. None of these are really worth anything. I'm kind of at the point in the collection now where I'm just kind of filling in some of the gaps, picking up stuff that I've been putting off for ages. Stuff that you see loads of all the time, and you think, oh, I'll leave that because I see that around all the time, and it's just something I'll pick up. And these are those sort of games, but you still want in a collection. Also, a lot of this stuff is stuff that I've had on PC. My current PC, the last one that I built, hasn't got a CD drive in it, simply because I didn't want where the CD drive goes. Because it's water cooled, I had to put the radiator there. I have got somewhere like an external CD drive. I can't remember where I've put it, but I don't really use. I have got another PC for retro games in the room, which I can connect at any time and just use for retro. So I tend to use that one instead. I tend to use that PC if I want anything disc based. Want to play anything disc based. So this one, so there's a lot of games on this PC, my current PC, that I can't play anymore, especially from the last generation. So what I'll do is, if I see it on 360 or PS3 instead, I'll pick that up. So these are games that I probably had on PC at some point that either aren't on my Steam list, and these are probably games I've had. The games I've had on PC, I'm rambling on here. The games I've had on PC that are CD based that I can't play on my current system. I should have just said that at the beginning. So anyway, we've got Stranglehold. This was like 50p or something. I wanted to get this game back. I love this game. It's a fantastic action game. I've got Fatal Inertia, which is really old. I think this was like a release title for the Xbox 360. A really old kind of Wipeout sort of racing game. But it's a fairly decent sort of game. Again, this was like £1 or something. It's made by what are they called? Koei or something. You know, the ones who make like Kessen, and they make I think they make Dynasty Warriors and games like that. So yeah, Fatal Inertia. I think they don't make Dynasty Warriors actually. I don't know. Kingdoms of Amulet, The Reckoning. Now this is a game I've been meaning to pick up since it released years ago, and I've always just put it off. I think it's always been around £6 or £7, and I've always just passed on it, gone, oh no, I'll wait till it goes down, and then I was in a cash converters, and it was one of these where buy 2 games get 1 free, and then the games were like £1 each or something, and I saw this, so I thought, yeah, sod it, I'll pick that up. So yeah, it's very, very good RPG. If you've not played this game, I highly recommend it. It's a great RPG. Graphically, and it's funny, I knew very little about it other than I'd heard it was just a very good game. Graphically, it surprised me, because that cover makes it look kind of badass, doesn't it, graphically? But it's actually quite cartoony. It reminds me a little bit of Fable, the art style on it, if you've ever played like one of the Fable games. It just reminds me, the art style very much reminds me of Fable, except it's kind of a serious RPG. It's good, it's a really decent game. This I had on PS3, but again, this was really cheap at like 50p or something, so I picked it up simply because some of the games on PS3 only run at 720p, whereas on the 360 their counterparts, they run at like 1080p. So if they're really, really cheap, I'll always pick up the 360 1080p version of it, and that is Alpha Protocol. This was in Poundland. Poundland have started selling games for some reason. We have a shop in the UK here called Poundland where everything is £1, but some things are like £5, some things are £2. They just started selling kind of X Rental, I think they are, or X something games, but they're all tested and replayed, so they're in good condition. Like they're selling a couple of PS4 and Xbox One games for like £5, but they were selling some Xbox 360 games for £2. So I picked up Hitman Absolution, a game I have got on PC actually, but I thought I'd get this because it's backward compatible with Xbox One, so I can stick it on the old Xbox One and play it on that. This game, again, I've already got it on PC. I picked this up again because it's backward compatible with Xbox One, and I've got all the DLC for this on Xbox. This is one of the games I got when I bought my very first 360, and that is Oblivion. I remember getting this, and I think there was Full Auto, this, and another game. I can't remember what the other game was. It might have been Tomb Raider Legend or something like that. I remember getting 3 games when I bought my very first 360, and this was one of them. And I must have sunk about 200 hours into this game. I played so much of Oblivion, and I just really fancy going through it again. It's been quite a few years since I've gone through it, so I've kind of put this back on the Xbox One and started it again. It's dated a little bit, but it's such a great game. I'm kind of playing a little bit of this and then simultaneously playing Skyrim as well on the VR, so which is fantastic. And a racing game, again, another game I've already got. This I've got on PS2, but this is the ultimate version of it, and I've been after this for a while, and it holds its value, this game, or at least it does in the UK. It still goes for around £15 to £20, but I went to a cash converter store, and they had it for a £5, and I thought, well, that's a really good price for a £5, and it was absolutely mint condition as well. And that is Need for Speed Most Wanted, the original Need for Speed Most Wanted. Obviously, better graphics, it's the 360 version, absolutely mint condition. It looks like it hasn't hardly been played. It was really good nick, so yeah, I'm happy to have a copy of that. So now I've got two copies. I've got a PS2 version and an Xbox 360 version. Much underrated Xbox 360 game. Again, love this game. Had it on PC, couldn't play it because it's on disc. And it's now Xbox One compatible, and I love this game. Loads of gadgets, very underrated game. Frontline's Fuel of War. This is a great game. If you've never played this game, I highly recommend you pick it up. It's a great kind of military shooter. Loads of little robots and drones and gadgets you can use in it. A little bit like Ghost Recon, Future Soldier. But what I love about this game is the map. As you kind of pushing forward in the level, you kind of see the front line, which is why it's called front lines. You kind of see the front line of the map. You're represented by colour moving forward, so you can always tell how much of the map you're taking over, if you like, and how you're progressing through the game. It's a really good game, so I highly recommend it. That's Frontlines Fuel of War. Another game that I picked up was Kingdom Under Fire Circle of Doom. Now I picked this up because I've got the original two Kingdom Under Fire games on the original Xbox, and they're great games, but apparently this is totally different. They're very much strategy based action games. This is the third game in the series, but apparently this is more of a sort of a bog standard RPG hack and slash game. They totally ripped out the whole strategy element of it, which is a little bit of a shame, but you know, I suppose it is what it is. I haven't played it yet, so I've yet to give this a go, but it was £1 and I don't see it around that much, and I just wanted to complete that Kingdom Under Fire collection. Talking about completing collections, again, another game I had on the PC, and I wanted it on disc. I wanted a physical copy of it. Well, I wanted it on console anyway. Was Battle Stations Midway, so I now have both of them, this one and Pacific. This was the first one. Pacific is the better of the two games, I think, but this is still a really solid game. Another great series. If you haven't played this, it's kind of a naval strategy World War II game, but not only do you get to play as like warships, you also control submarines and planes in it. It's fantastic. Yeah, it's great. So again, another game I've got on PC. Again, it was on disc, although I do think it was one of those Steam keys. I may have this on Steam, but it was cheap. It was actually factory sealed when I got it. It'd never been opened, so I thought, and it was like £1 for a factory sealed game, and that is Homefront. Not the greatest game. I much prefer the second one. The second one is an overrated gem as far as I'm concerned. I think the second one is a fantastic game. This one, not overly enamoured with. This one's just okay. It's kind of a very average first person shooter, but the second one was really good. Just picked these two up to have them in the collection because they were 50p each. Again, I had these on PS3, and again they only ran at 720p, so I got them on the Xbox 360 because they run at full 1080p, and that is Red Faction Armageddon and Red Faction Guerrilla. This looks okay on the PS3, but it was 50p, so I picked it up. I just got rid of my PS3 version of it. This looks dreadful on the PlayStation 3. I played this on the PS3 and literally took it off after about 20 minutes. It looked terrible. I don't know why. It just looks really blurry and really muddy on the PlayStation 3. There's been a couple of PS3 games that actually look terrible on the PS3 but look good on the Xbox 360. Another one is was it Fear? I can't remember if it was Fear 1 or Fear 2. I think it was the first one. I remember buying that years ago on the PS3 and it looked dreadful. Really bad sort of jaggies on the edges and things like that. Whereas the Xbox 360 version looked fine, and this is the same. If you got, I'm recommending you're going to go for a version of Armageddon, which is a fantastic game. Go for the 360 version. It's a much better version of it. So yeah, that's the Xbox 360 games. Up next is original Xbox games, and I'm going to be on it straight to the point now. Most of these are probably going to be driving games. I've been going through a bit of a phase of like trying to pick up all the old driving games that I've played back in the day, or you know, picking up or trying new ones out as well that I haven't played. So I just wanted to put it out there now that most of these are probably driving games. So the first one is Recklessly Yakuza Missions. This is just weird. This is kind of an arcade racer thing, very cartoony, based in Tokyo, where you play these kind of two female cops and you've got to kind of chase people through the city. This is not what I expected it to be in any way, shape or form. It's a very kind of strange game, but it was really cheap. It was like £1 and it wasn't in the Xbox Collection, so I thought I'd give it a go. I'm not even going to try and explain what this game is. It's just so weird. Just watch some games on some gameplay online. I picked this one up, which is called Exgra, which is a great kind of actually quite an underrated racing game. You kind of on these futuristic bikes and you've got to race around circuits, and this is actually a sequel to, if I can find it on here, I've got it, yeah. This is kind of a sequel to, or a counterpart of this, which was XG3 Extreme G Racing on the PlayStation 2. And by what I can tell, this is a sequel to this. So these are kind of, you know, in the same vein. They got the same developer and everything. I don't know if this one is just... I don't think it's the same game as this one. I did try them both and they did look slightly different in the layout. Yeah, it's definitely not the same game, but they're very similar. So yeah, there's that one, which is Extreme G Racing. Like I said, it's like a futuristic kind of motorbike racing game. But yeah, this is the extra one is. I'm pretty sure this is an Xbox. This is an Xbox exclusive, even though it doesn't say it on it. And it's really good, a really solid racing game with a little bit of combat in. Like I said, a little bit like Wipeout, but instead of being in a ship, you're on a bike. A lot of fun, really a lot of fun to play, and it's a game that you don't see around. I saw it in a CEX, again it was like £2 or something, and it's one of those games I've not seen before. And I tend to, if I see like an original Xbox game and it's one that I've never seen before or don't see around a lot, I always try and pick it up if it's cheap, because you get a lot of the same kind of original Xbox games. You see the same stuff a lot, so when you see something different, it's definitely worth picking up. So yeah, Extra. I'm going to go through all these in one go, sort of thing, because they're kind of... I'll do this one first, pick this one up. Easy game to get hold of. I've actually already got this. I've got kind of the remastered version on off the Xbox 360 store, but I wanted to pick up the original version, and it was 50p. It's Far Cry Instincts, which I've got going on in the background here. I love the Far Cry series, and this was kind of the console version of it. Bloody hard, this game, actually. The other one is Predator, which I haven't got, but it's in one of my local CEX stores somewhere. I was looking online the other day and someone's got it, so I keep meaning to go and get it. But yeah, Far Cry Instincts, and then the rest of these are kind of related. I started off by picking up this, which was Ford Racing 3, another game that I kind of tweeted a little bit about, saying how much I was enjoying it. This is a fantastic, fantastic racing game. It's slightly on the generic side. Some people will probably play it and go, oh, it's a bit kind of generic, you know. But it's great. It's got great visuals. The car handling is fantastic in this game. Really, and that's what really makes a good driving game, is the car handling. Fantastic car handling in this game. Really nice visuals. Great selection of Fords. If you like your cars, especially obviously if you like your Fords, there's a great selection of cars in it. There's everything from trucks to kind of you know, low riders. It's got everything in it. So, you know, classics, bit of everything. So yeah, the Ford Racing 3, and because I bought that and I was so impressed with it, I went out and bought again, these were all really cheap. These were like £2 or £3 each. Ford Racing 2, which is basically very similar to that. 3 is basically a slightly updated version of this. I think this has got some extra different tracks in it. Obviously, different roster of cars. Some of the cars are the same, but you know, yeah, Ford Racing 2. Apparently, Ford Racing 1 came out on the original PlayStation and wasn't very good. I've yet to play that or pick that one up, but I'm sure if I see it around, I'll pick that one up. I also picked up Ford Street Racing. I think this was like the 3rd game that they did or something. This is not that great, I've got to be honest. It's made by the same people. And out of all of them, I was actually quite disappointed in this one. Not because of the tracks. You know, again, the handling's fine on the cars, but the car models look a little bit bland on this one. The tracks are a little bit lifeless. It just didn't have the same, I don't know, amount of polish as the other 2 games, I didn't think. But, you know, I picked it up anyway. Again, it was like £1 or something. Ford Street Racing. I'll give it another go, but I do prefer Ford Racing 2 and 3. I think they're better games. And also I got this, which was Ford Mustang, The Legend Lives. Now this is a different developer, nothing to do with the other games other than it's Ford, and this basically concentrates on the Mustangs. But again, this is a lot more arcadey than the other 2. The other 2 games were more, or the other 3 games were a lot more kind of in the vein of maybe Forza or Gran Turismo, that kind of career mode, sort of where it unlocks other things, and this has got a little bit of that in, but it's more of an arcade experience. Ford Mustang. I made a little gameplay of this one. It's still very good though, good driving, good cars, so I do recommend picking it up if you want to kind of complete the Ford collection. There is another Ford game, but that's on the PS2, which I'll do now because I'm doing all the Ford games together, and that is Ford Offroad. I have had this game before. Again, this is another game I had on the PSP, and this is great. This is kind of all the trucks versus the Land Rovers, so it's all, and you know, so you kind of got your Land Rover versus your big Ford pickups and things like that, all off-road racing. And this is a lot of fun, and this has got a really good campaign in it. Again, good campaign that kind of unlocks various stages and things like that. Again, really, really cheap. This was like £2. So the really good set of driving games that you can pick up for pretty much next to nothing, to be honest. Again, sticking with the driving theme, these are all kind of driving games. The last original Xbox game I've got is 4x4 Evo 2. This one is okay. It's a little bit more arcadey than the others. It's got some weird camera angles in this. It's got your normal camera angles as well, but then you can kind of switch to like a TV camera angle, but as you're driving, it's really weird. But again, it's a lot of fun, a lot more arcadey. This is more kind of checkpoint based racing. But the only thing I didn't like about this game was the AI in it. It's extremely aggressive, the AI. I was just playing it on normal mode, and it was just like they were just ramming me off the road, the other cars, and smashing into me and everything. And it was just like, you know, rather than just sort of normal racing, I just found the AI extremely aggressive on it, but still a great game. Yeah, so again really cheap at a couple of pound. 4x4 Evo 2. There is an Evo 1 as well, so I'll have to keep an eye out for that. Another 4x4 game I picked up, and this is Offroad Wide Open, and this is a great 4x4 game. I had a lot of fun playing this. This reminds me a little bit of what's it called? I used to play it on the Dreamcast all the time. Is it Four Wheel Thunder or something it's called? I'm looking at there because that's what it is, and it's a game I used to play all the time on the Dreamcast. I've got it up there. I just can't. Yeah, Four Wheel Thunder. This reminds me a little bit of Four Wheel Thunder, but this is actually a test drive game. The US version has actually got test drive written on it. Test drive off-road or something. It says on the US version. On the UK version, they took the test drive off it. But when you actually load it up, it does actually say a test drive game. So this is Test Drive Off-Road Wide Open, and this is great. Another great 4x4 sort of racing game. Loads of variety in the tracks. Again, really tough in places, but a lot of fun. I do love these off-road games. There's a new game coming out, and I didn't know anything about it until I went to a game with my nephew the other day. They put like display boxes out for the upcoming games, and there was a game there called Gravel that I knew nothing about, and that's a new off-road game that's coming out. So I'm going to be doing a little bit of research into that game, because I do like my off-road racing, and it looks quite interesting. Another couple of driving games. Again, just pick these up really cheap. These were 50p each. Again, just little things to top the collection off. I love my driving games. So we've got Lotus Challenge. I got this because well, I just thought it would be alright because it's all Lotus games. It's got the Bond car in it, the Bond Lotus, so I thought it'd be worth getting just for that. It's not that great. It's okay. You can tell it's sort of a budget title, but it's, you know, it's fun enough to play, and it would cost 50p. Graphics are okay in it for a PS2 game, and like I said, it's got the Bond car in it, the famous Lotus Bond car. So yeah, Lotus Challenge. Mashed Fully Loaded. This is a little bit different, kind of a racing game. This is a point-to-point racer, but it's more kind of almost like remote control cars. You race up against other racers, you get weapons and power-ups. It reminds me a little bit of Micro Machines, but it's not set in a micro world. You know, it's not like it's on breakfast tables and pool tables and things like that. It's, you know, it's on roads and things like that. But camera angles wise, it looks a little bit, it's from above, so it does look a little bit like Micro Machines. So it's kind of a combat game. This is Fully Loaded. I don't know if this is a sequel or kind of a better version of the original Mashed, because it kind of says something like the ultimate version. More cars, more tracks, more challenges. It says the ultimate version of the game. It says Mashed Fully Loaded with new features, so I'm not too sure if it's a full-on sequel to the original game or whether it's kind of just like a reboot, updated version of it. But yeah, again, that was like £1. And this was Total Immersion Racing. I got this because this was an Empire game. Of course, I've just been talking about them. They made the Ford racing games, so I picked this one, which was Total Immersion Racing, and this is good. This is their version of Gran Turismo, basically. Really kind of high end, as you can see, they're kind of high end racing cars and things like that. It is a Gran Turismo rip-off, to be honest, and I can see why this probably didn't sell. This came out not that long after Gran Turismo 4, I think, and I think the thinking probably would have been, why would I buy this if I've got Gran Turismo 4? Because it's, you know, it's kind of a poor man's Gran Turismo. But that doesn't mean it's a bad game, and it's not. It's got some really nice car handling again. Nice graphics as well. So yeah, Total Immersion Racing, it was £1. So, you know, like, you know, if you're in the US, it's like $1 or something, I don't know. So Total Immersion Racing. And then a couple more. Get to the end now. We all get to the end now. We're getting there. A couple more PS2 games. And these are the kind of non-racing games. I'm just seeing if there's any more racing stuff here. I don't want to mix them all up. Oh, well, this is kind of racing. King of the Route 66. Pick this up. This is actually a sequel to... Is it... oh, what's it called? 18-Wheeler. Or something like that. Yeah, I think it's a sequel to the 18-Wheeler series, but it's called King of the Route. But it is part of the same series, and I hadn't seen this around before. I knew it existed, but it's one I'd never seen. And then it just popped up in one of the local game shops near me. It was like £2. So I had to pick that up because I've got 18-Wheeler. So this is kind of a sequel to it. It's pretty much more of the same. It's those kind of, again, point-to-point racing, but with big trucks. Pretty tough when you're racing against the clock. Really tough in places. These are games that I kind of didn't need, but I got them anyway. I went into a charity shop. Me and my wife went for lunch one day, and there was a charity shop next to the kind of the pub that we went to for lunch. And it was, I walked in and they had a couple of games, including these two, and they were like 3 for £1. So, you know, 3 for £1. I can't remember what the third game was. It wasn't a PS2 game. I think it might have been the Alpha Protocol game that I showed before. But I got these because one of them I haven't actually got a physical copy of, and the other one I have, but it was just in such good condition, and it's such a good game, I had to pick it up. So the first one is Bully. I have got this, but I've got it on the 360. But it's a download only. I know you can get a physical copy of Bully for the 360, but I think it's about £17 or something. And I wanted the original. I have actually got another copy of this already, but it's scratched to hell. It was my little. It was actually my eldest boy's when he was kind of younger. It was his copy of it, but it's kind of under the bed somewhere. We have still got it, or in the loft, and it's all scratched to hell. These two games were absolutely, again, mint condition. Not a scratch on them. Whoever had these either hardly played them or didn't have to look after them. There's not a mark on them. And these were like 3 games for £1. So I picked up Bully, yeah, because I didn't have a physical copy of Bully, and I thought it might be nice to own an original copy of it. And the other game was The Warriors, which I've already got this. I've got it on Xbox, but again, it's absolutely spotless. It looks like it's hardly ever been played. And I just thought, yeah, I just couldn't leave it on the shelf for like 30p. It was just in such good nick. So yeah, so I got The Warriors and Bully. I also picked up some Spyro games. I've been playing through the Spyro games. Yeah, there's a new Spyro coming out, isn't there? Just like my last video I did, or I think it was the last video I did, or one of the last videos I did, was my top 10 games that I wanted remastered for the PS4. And the day after I did that, or 2 days after I did that video, they announced they were remastering Spyro for the PS4. So someone up there must be listening to me. Although I pretty much think it was probably on the cards anyway. But I've been playing through some of the PS2 versions of Spyro. Again, one of these I already had, but years ago, but I couldn't find the copy of it. I had it on Platinum, so I picked it up again. So I got Enter the Dragonfly. This is supposed to be the rubbishy one. Apparently it's not that good, this one, but I haven't played this one. Some of these I've played before, this one I haven't played before. So, and then I got New Beginning, which is brilliant. I'm actually playing this at the moment and having a lot of fun with it. I really like this game. Some people don't like the PlayStation 2 Spyro games, but I actually like this one. This is actually part of a trilogy. There's this one, I got New Beginning, then there's this one, which is Eternal Night, which is the second game. So when I finish New Beginning, I'm going to play Eternal Night. And then there's, what's it called? There's a third one, which came out on the 360 as well. Something Two Dragons or something it's called. Can't remember what it's called. Apparently it's not very good, but I'll have to pick that one up just to make up the trilogy, because that's a trilogy of games. So yeah. Oh, not drop them. So I've been playing some Spyro. Only a couple of games left. So I picked up Sarge's Heroes 2. I love the Army Man games. It's kind of my what do they call it? It's my secret kind of pleasure, if you like. It's the, you know, when you got a game series that you won't admit to anyone that you like, but secretly you love it. Well, the Army Men's mine. I love the Army Men games. I think they're brilliant. Some of them are better than others. I'm trying to get hold of all of them eventually, because I've got quite a few of them. I've got about 4 of the original PlayStation ones. I think I've got about 4 of the PS2 ones. Some of them weren't released actually over here in the UK. There's 1 or 2 of them that were only released in the US. Yeah, Sarge's Heroes 2. Again, that was like 50p. Naval Ops Warship Gun. I just saw this and it kind of interested me. Again, it's another one of these Koei games. This is really good. Basically, you take control of warships and you control all the shooting. You're kind of going around sinking other warships and everything. It's very kind of strategy based action games. It's kind of not unlike the Midway game. So you're kind of driving this warship around, taking out other warships. It's very kind of similar to the Midway Battle Stations Midway or Pacific games, but in this one you're only controlling a warship. There's also another game in the series called Naval Ops Commander or something, which I'm going to have to try and get hold of, but that one seems to hold its value. It goes for about 20 quid or something, so, and it's not a game I've seen around that much. So yeah, Naval Ops Warship Gunner. I like these kind of games. I get something that's a little bit different to play on the PS2. And finally, a game. This is a game that I have been after for the collection for ages. It's always holds its value, and I just saw it somewhere at a fairly decent price, and so I picked it up. It cost me. This is the most I've ever played. This is the most I've ever paid for a PS2 game, other than when they were brand new. But I did really want it in the collection because it's one. This cost me 40 quid, which is a lot for a PS2 game. But one, I know it'll hold its value, and 2, well, not that I collect them. I never sell them anyway. I just play them, and it's just a game I really wanted because I played the original. And I played this back in the day. It's Yakuza 2. Yeah, like I say, I paid about 40 for this, which seems a lot, but then you think you'd go out and pay £40 for a new game anyway. So, actually, you probably pay more than that for a new game these days. This is a hard game to get hold. It's not that hard to get hold of, but it's hard to get hold of. And actually, £40 is a good price for this. It was actually a little bit under £40. It's slightly under £40, but it's nice to have it in the collection. The only Yakuza I need now for the collection is it 3 or 4? One of them. 5, of course, wasn't released over here on a physical copy, so 5 you can only get download anyway. But this is the main one I was after, was Yakuza 2. It's absolutely totally mint condition as well. It's, as you can see, the disc, it's absolutely mint condition. So that was kind of one of the grail items I've been after for quite a while, and it came up at a decent price, so I just got it. I kind of figured, well, you pay for a game's. I kind of think a game's a game. Some people sort of would say to you, well, why would you pay so much for a PlayStation 2 game? Or why would you pay so much for a PlayStation 1 game? But the way I see it, if I get as much fun out of that PlayStation 1 game or that original Xbox game or that PlayStation 2 game as I'd get out of a PlayStation 4 game, if I get the same amount of enjoyment out of that a PS4 game as I would a PS1 game, really the price is between them is it's I can't say it, negligible. It's it doesn't really matter. Price isn't really the issue. It's whether I'm going to put the time to that game and play it. So yeah, again, I do have a kind of plan going on with my Yakuza. I'm trying to play them in order of story, so I'm just sort of getting to near the end of the Yakuza 0. I'll probably not play the original Yakuza on PS1. I'm going to play Kiwami, or whatever it's called, the remake on PS4, and then I'm going to jump into Yakuza 2. I did play Yakuza 2 years and years ago. So again, it's just that I'm trying to play through them all again. It's only if they remake this now on the PS4 I'll be a bit like, right. But you can guarantee if they announce that they're going to make Yakuza 2 for the PS4, everyone is going to be selling their PS2 ones on eBay, and the prices will probably go through the floor. But again, I didn't buy it as an investment. I just bought it because I wanted to play the game. So Yakuza 2 is my kind of final game, if you like. Yeah, nice game. So, and that's it. That is it for pickups. Yeah, so I'm trying to kind of narrow the focus of the collection down a little bit, and I did say this a couple of months ago on another video, that I want to streamline, if you like, on the things I will play, which to me are kind of PS2, original Xbox, PS3, Xbox 360, and then current gen, and PlayStation 1. I'm a big PlayStation fan. I don't try and hide. I absolutely love the 360. Don't get me wrong. The 360 was my console of that generation, not the PS3. So it's not like I'm a big fanboy of one or the other. It just happens to be, of that last generation, I preferred the 360 over the PlayStation 3. So it's not about kind of brand loyalty, but generally, as a rule goes, I do prefer PlayStation over Xbox. So I've kind of been looking at some of the stuff. I was looking at the GameCube, wondering whether to keep that or not, because it's just sat there, doesn't really get used. I've only got about 5 or 6 games for it anyway. But then you look about, well, another thing I was thinking as well, just purely down to the the lack of space I've got, is maybe getting rid of some of these bigger box things. But I'm not too sure yet. I'm not getting rid of the Wolfenstein one though, because I absolutely love that one. But I've got a couple of other ones that you can't see over this side. They just take up a lot of room, and I've nowhere to display. They've got like some really nice statues and things, but I've nowhere to display them. I've absolutely nowhere to put these things. And I don't think I'll be getting kind of a games room anytime soon. So I'm kind of thinking about space now, thinking, well, I'll probably maybe just have more of a vanilla kind of a collection where it's just game cases. I'm going down that route, maybe. But you know what it's like when we're gamers. We kind of have an idea, then we swap it and change it. Last week I was thinking of getting rid of this TV, making a bit more room back here, and then I thought, well, if I get rid of that, I can't play any of my light gun games. I do like playing my light gun games on my PS1, my PS2. So it's kind of all swings and roundabouts, isn't it? So I think having not much room is the biggest restriction I've got on my collection. It's not about I won't even see. It's not even about funding it, for me, it's space. I just don't have that much space, so I've got to kind of really utilise the very small amount of space I've got within the room. Anyway, I've gone on and on and on. This video is far too long. If you've got to the end of this video, well done. If you got to the end of this video, leave a comment at the end and saying that you got to the end of it. And I shall be back with another video soon. It's nice to be back in front of the camera. Please take care of yourselves. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do. I do try and do stuff as often as I can. Please click a like and comment below. I always try and answer people who comment below. And I shall speak to you later. Take care and goodbye.